here beside you. A lot of your fans know you from playing the electric guitar would ask two questions. What are you doing in jazz, and what is that thing? It's a cornet.
It's a cornet, yeah. It's a smaller version of the trumpet.
How come you're playing this instead of the electric guitar? And how come jazz?
It's a lot more fun.
Oh.
Basically.
Is jazz your first love?
Yeah, I guess it always was. I mean, what I have been doing, started to do with guitar, which is what a lot of other guitar players with some amount of talent, or musicians in general, do, is just improvise. And I mean, if you improvise with an awful lot of volume and distortion, then it's termed rock and roll. But it's all the basic sort of mentality behind it is pretty much the same.
The group is called the Hot 5 Jazz Makers. They're playing in Toronto. We're going to tell you where they are. You can go down to Saturday afternoon and hear a lot more of this, and you can hear a little more of this right after this commercial. Stay with us. Would you take a break? Jeff Healey, the Jeff Healey Band, usually seen with a guitar in his lap, but plays a cornet, and I just asked you, you play other instruments too, don't you?
Well, I can get by on bass and, you know, percussion instruments and a little bit of piano and, you know, some other brasses.
Covers them all, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I don't bother with those when, you know, the real things are around, you know.
Right. What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite? I mean, are you most at home in the, if you had to pick one, are you most at home in the guitar?
Well, I had more work at the guitar. But I mean, you know, if I spend another 15 years with this, you know, I could start to get somewhere with it.
Get at home with it. You play the guitar with it in your lap, which is a what is it, that style? Is it, you know, the one where they slide the bar up and down the neck? Is that
slide? Yeah.
Slide. That's what I want. I'm terribly musical. You could probably tell that. It's your own style that you developed, or why do you play it that way?
I just learned that way. You know, really for no other explanation. You know, just started that way, I think initially with a slide, but very briefly, and then just dispense with that and put the hand over the neck.
I don't know, for those of you who saw Roadhouse, but you would have seen Jeff Healey in it with Patrick Swayze. You guys became pretty good friends?
I haven't seen him in 4 years.
Ah, it breaks my heart, Jeff. I was hoping he was coming over Saturday night. We were going to drop by. Yeah. It was a good film. You were excellent in it.
Thank you.
We were talking about the fact that your first love was jazz, but now you're into rock and roll, and you just, as a musician, and I guess there's a certain level when you play music that if you love all these things, or you just sort of move quite freely between them?
I suppose. Well, I mean, what I do is basically improvisational based, whether it's, you know, playing with these guys or playing with my own band. So it as I said before break, it sort of falls under the same mentality.
Is the Jeff Healey Band going to be working on have you got an album coming out?
Yeah, we're going to start to leisurely put something together. But with the little break, it's been great to, you know, to work around with these guys and to get the chance to meet, you know, special people and have them as special guests here. Neville Dickey, who's on piano, is from England. He's over working this week at the Montreal Bistro in Toronto, and just I can honestly say, even with him here in the room, that he's the finest pianist that I've ever heard.
Let's introduce the rest of the band. We've got Janet Shaw.
Yeah.
On reeds. Okay.
In other words, all the saxophones and clarinet. And Brian Gravel on trumpet, who's really helped me along and given me a lot of ideas. Janet's husband, Brian Towers, on trombone, who really is responsible for me being anywhere with trumpet. He, in the mid-'80s, sort of let me sit in with the band that he had at that time and, you know, just go through and blow till, you know, literally no notes would come out, you know, and just play and get a lot of ideas. And
Colin Bray?
Colin Bray, my right-hand man in many projects now. Colin had taken over my local university radio show on early jazz and really become a good friend.
And
Reiner Hunk on banjo and guitar, who I'm learning a lot from and learning a lot of guitar rhythmic ideas and so forth. This is great.
Let's get you back over there so we can hear you play. What are you going to play this time?
Well, we're going to do a tune that was written back in the early 20s by Joe King Oliver. And the King Oliver Creole Jazz Band featured two cornets, King Oliver being one of them and Louis Armstrong the other. So Brian Gravel and I are going to try and recreate that on a tune that they did called Snake Rag.
Snake Rag.
Here we go.